Welcome to another Saint Spotlight, and in this edition, our guest is Lynnette Guzzino, professor in the Department of Business. Thanks for joining us, Lynnette.
Thank you.
I'd like to start the interview with some kudos. You've garnered some excellent awards in the last couple of years. It started at commencement 2018. You were named the Thomas More Full-Time Graduate Teacher of the Year. And then also in 2018, you were honored along with two other Thomas More professors at GC3's annual celebration of teaching. That's the Greater Cincinnati College Connection at their annual celebration of teaching. And then just this last year in 2019, you were named the Region 3 International Teaching Excellence Award recipient, representing baccalaureate and graduate degree member institutions for our accrediting group, ACBSP, Accreditation Council of Business Schools and Programs. So you've had a truly excellent run here. How did Thomas More get so lucky to have you on staff? Give us a little bit about your background.
So I started teaching in the Thomas More TAP program in 1998. I was actually asked by Professor Bob Arnold to join the TAP program and teach international management. At the time, I was working for the Northern Kentucky Legal Aid Society as Attorney Director of the Volunteer Lawyer Program. And so I continued to adjunct teach at Thomas More. And then in 2005, a full-time position opened in the Department of Business. I applied and was accepted as an assistant professor. And so that's how my journey began at Thomas More.
Obviously, your peers think highly of your method of teaching. Can you relay a little bit about your philosophy and what you think a professor needs to do to be successful?
Certainly. I strive to provide a stimulating atmosphere for all of my students, for them to learn and grow intellectually. And I do that by including discussions of current events such as U.S. administration's trade policy on tariffs of Chinese imports or renegotiating the NAFTA agreement, Brexit and beyond, all current activities that influence our study of international business. I think in addition to strategy, we look at a lot of the legal, ethical, and political issues that face an international manager. And I would like to quote William Butler Yeats at this point in saying that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And that sums up my philosophy in terms of how I approach my class and my students. I've also developed a network of business professionals who frequently present to my students. I try to provide them with real-world examples of international business, arrange field trips, site visits, and make connections for students applying for internships. I bring to the classroom real-world experience of having worked in advertising in New York, Paris, and Madrid for clients including Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive, and Playtex. And by doing that, students appreciate the weaving in of those stories and those business experiences that you can kind of bring to life during your class lectures.
Who and or what do you draw on for mentorship or inspiration or in collaboration for your teaching?
I would say that I draw primarily from my own peers or colleagues at Thomas More University, but also at other universities. I also draw a lot of inspiration from workshops and conferences that I attend, also feedback and support from my dean, Angela Crawford, and also from my family. So great authors have also influenced me, and I try to read and keep up on current business literature and even past literature that impacts my courses. Having a law degree, you really need to learn how to read a lot because you're reviewing your reading and writing quite a bit. And I love it. I love the written word and the power of the word and what it can do.
Thank you so much for joining us with our Saint Spotlight.
Yes, this has been wonderful. Thank you. I'm honored. I feel very grateful that I've been able to teach this long and in areas that I love, at Thomas More. So anyway, it's been a blessing.